And so if salaries are to be docked in any way as a disciplinary matter, it means that such a directive has to come from the Public Service Commission, not the Cabinet of Grenada. So as we have said time and time again, this is not a simple matter of you not working and not getting paid because you didn't work. The public service operates on different principles. And in addition to that, there are collective agreements. So when one looks at an issue like this, apart from looking at the labor code, it is essential that you look at the collective bargaining agreements that the various unions have for its members. And if you examine the collective bargaining agreements of the GUT, you would again recognize that such a move has been an illegal one. The labor code says that wherever there's a better provision in a collective agreement, that provision would stand above what is in the labor code. And so on this matter, we as GUT have collective agreements that states clearly that no teacher should be victimized for participating in any activity organized by the GUT. And so from these perspectives, we understand, we know, beyond any doubt, that the docking of our salaries was an illegal move. And as such, the fact that it was done, we had no choice but to enforce the work to rule, as our president said.
All right, folks, as we continue, we are going to continue to look into these stories and see what the public thinks about it. What do you think about it? This whole issue, I think, is somewhat separating us a bit, you know, because some people are in support of the teachers, others are in support of the government. And so we are pushing and tugging and pulling and tugging. And I just hope that, you know, sooner rather than later, that we would have that issue resolved in the interest of all involved, you know. Yeah, it's been going on for a while. It's been going on for a while. So I can only anticipate if this continues, that a lot of the school events will be impacted as well, you know, even outside of sports. Now it's sports, but even after sports, it will be something else. And so that is something I'm really not looking forward to. So I'm hoping that all parties involved would see the need to get this under control ASAP. A man is crying out for help for his ailing brother, you know, in the BVI. And we have a lot of Grenadians up there. This person is not a Grenadian, but is Trinidadian. And he says, listen, my family member has served his time as a teacher, in fact, as a principal, for more than 30 years. He is sick, he's ailing, and is not being treated fairly. Listen to this JTV report.
Tears of grief and pain fell from the cheeks of 66-year-old David Calendar as he stood on the streets of Rotang, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, challenging Medical Aid Services Association MASA to transport his sick brother to his homeland, Trinidad and Tobago.
My brother, he has given 39 years to the teaching service. He has a policy with MASA and they refuse to convey him. Presently, he's at Peebles Hospital. I didn't want to take this stand. I ain't come up in the country for this.
His brother is a former principal of the Altius Catliff Primary School and the man who devoted 39 years to the education sector of the BVI. Months now, he has been an amputee patient at the Peebles Hospital, restricted to his bed in a very weakened state, and the more so, is said to be homeless.
But look at my brother. Look at my brother. 39 years of devotion. The youth, he retired as a principal of Altius Catliff. He wouldn't be pleased what I'm doing, but I have to do it. He's an ex-principal. I am 66, and look at me. And I have to stand for my brother because he cannot stand up. He doesn't like to stand up. He has just been treated like an animal. Discarded. No. Not for persons who have contributed to the country. Not for persons who 39 years teaching the kids. He's a disciplinarian. That's why he hasn't taken any stand. He has been robbed before. My brother needs the assistance. I'm calling on the premier to take a stand on what Master is doing.
While Master's local office declined to comment, a letter dated Friday, January 11, 2019, penned by Master's Transport Director, Mr. Dusty Cook, indicates that because Mr. Calendar's address is registered with them at Tortola, they cannot provide him air ambulance or chartered flight to Trinidad and Tobago. Cook, however, said, quote, "But if he could gather enough strength to fly commercially, I would entertain an offer for a commercial flight as a common courtesy," end quote. But his brother David has fears.
Convey him to Trinidad in the ambulance. Don't give him no commercial flight, because I've seen persons die on commercial flight. He didn't pay for a commercial flight. He paid for their service.
According to Mr. David Calendar, his brother will be better cared for in his home country, as he would be surrounded by his family.
He has all his family down there, and he will get better care by his family, because I have had persons who said they will assist him, and they will not forthcoming. They just stand back. That's why he's in this state. He has no home. He was robbed of his home.
This issue is now the talk of the town, since the former educator's brother took to the street today, January 21, protesting and calling for help. Is this now a call for community to step into action to help a man who many says has made invaluable contributions to the development of the British Virgin Islands? With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
Yeah, Kathy, I think so. You know, in the absence of those who are supposed to do certain things, the community can probably now get involved, given that he has given so many years of service as a teacher. I think it's only fair that they too can at least try to see if they can step into this matter, and not to show how successful they will be, but it's worth a try. A 19-year-old in St. Lucia is dead. He was found hanging today, and some believe it is, or maybe, a case of suicide.
It started as a fairly normal day for the George family of Forestier, until, that is, after midday, when the sister of 19-year-old Nolan George, the deceased young man, went to his room to get him. Nolan George's aunt, Keisha George, says it is then the gruesome discovery was made.
His sister came from town and met him dead in the house. But I didn't know, and I was just next door to him doing laundry.
Keisha says, though troubled, of late her deceased nephew was always loving and respectful.
I know he have a problem, but he's a very nice person. That's all I can tell you about him. But I realize he have a problem. It's been a year.
Okay. But before this problem surfaced, he was a pretty normal young man?
Yeah, pretty normal.
Was he employed?
No.
Keisha says she pleaded with members of the family to help her disturbed nephew. Finally, the family sought assistance for 19-year-old Nolan George, but help did not come soon enough.
Then 3 weeks ago, his sister went to Tapion to get help for him, and that was it.
So was the help forthcoming?
Well, they gave him some medication, and I do not know what happened next.
Nolan George returned to his native Forestier community some 4 years ago, having lived most of his life with his dad. Not unlike many of his friends, Nolan George was a regular marijuana smoker.
I know he used to smoke a lot. That's all. Just loved to smoke.
It is still unknown what could have led Nolan to apparently take his own life late Monday morning. The family and friends are just beginning to come to terms with this tragic incident. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
Thank you very much, sir, for that report. As we move on quickly, we see here that a very interesting report coming out of WhatsApp. Some of you might already have heard about this, but when it comes to your WhatsApp, I know you're all in play. But for those of you who has not yet heard this, the social media platform WhatsApp says it will be limiting all its members to forwarding any single message up to 5 times in an effort to tackle the spread of false information. So in other words, you can only forward these messages up to 5 times, and that's it. Now, the Facebook-owned business had already introduced the policy in India 6 months ago. Now, the move followed a number of mob lynching that were blamed on fake reports spread via the service. Now, until now, users elsewhere could forward messages up to 20 times. Now, the update of the app rules was announced at an event at Jakarta in Indonesia. Now, the firm told the BBC it had made its decision after carefully evaluating the results of its half-year-long test in the country. All right, so you guys could expect to see those kind of changes. Now, the restriction comes at a time WhatsApp and Facebook services are under scrutiny for their role in the spread of propaganda and other untruths online. All right, so you can expect to see that sort of restriction. I think I read one report that it took effect worldwide as of this morning. Okay, the next thing that we have to tell you about, boy, Antigua and Barbuda, they are saying that they have seen more cases of dengue. I'm making it up. Of the 5 new suspected cases, there are 3 males and 2 females between the ages of 7 and 58. So they're saying they are seeing more and more cases. This brings to 15 the number of cases suspected between April 2018 and last Friday. Now, so we see that more and more islands are, and it's coming down, because first we had Jamaica with that outbreak, and then you see it's coming down to Antigua and Barbuda, and you know, we have had reported cases in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're kind of like in the middle, and we're hoping that we don't get enveloped in the whole thing, right? That is why the ministry said that they have been taking proactive measures to ensure that they're informing you of some of the steps that you as citizens can take to reduce the amount of mosquitoes within your environment by getting rid of the old tires, the still water, and keeping your surroundings generally clean, you know? So yeah. So folks, it is last week as well, last week Thursday, I think, CAFA, they were also saying that, hey, Caribbean islands, you guys got to prepare your citizens for this. They are predicting an outbreak of dengue. A serious case or severe case of dengue can cause death. So you guys have to take this serious. You have to take it serious, all right? All right, we are moving on. How are we looking for time? Yeah, we want to encourage some of our little shady program. Some of our little shady program yet. Shady business, the boy. Hey. What y'all behaving innocent now? Shady thing. Yes, and shady business. People. Shady business. Alright? So here what we're doing. We're taking a break and we're coming back. And when we come back, is more thing. You understand? In fact, we have coming up for you the national report as well.
It's a new year, so how about a new look? At Quartz Optical, we have the latest brand names and styles. Plus, get 20% off credit on 12 to 24 months. Instant credit approval while you are being tested. Get 15% off cash, so you can get that new frame to go into the new year. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest, fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Special conditions apply.
We mean business and we talk business.
I wanted to go back to when it started.
And we let women in business tell their own stories and inspire others.
But I'm very excited about 2019.
I am Abigail Long, and join me right here for Abby's Power Lunch.
You never looked at a piece of paper. This was just a beautiful conversation.
We talk to women of the Caribbean who make things happen.
I know, let's not just preach it, let's practice it, and it starts from household.
All right, thank you very much. And folks, it is now time for the national report.
Met official says Grenada could be in for a very intense dry season. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for today, Monday, January 21st, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada could be in for a very intense dry season with the forecast for consecutive months of below average rainfall. Manager of Met Services at the Morris Bishop International Airport, Hubert White, says from January through March, rainfall will be below average because of El Niño conditions which already exist in the equatorial Pacific. So far, only 4.7 millimeters of rain has been recorded at Point Celine, which means that statistically, January 2019 could be the driest on record. It could replace January 2001, which recorded 9.5 millimeters of rainfall. Mr. White says because of the uneven distribution of water, drought condition has not yet stepped in.
The eastern side of the island definitely has a deficit, but the western have serious surpluses in terms of water. And if you look at December, for example, where Point Sterling got 67.3 millimeters of rainfall, although that is 35.5 millimeters below average. We had places like Black Forest industry got 303 millimeters of rain in December. We have Tufton Hall water treatment plant got 201, and we had Spring Garden 2005. So when we look at all this data, it's not safe to say that we will get a drought, but a drought can be onset.
Grenada experienced a similar situation in 2010, and according to Mr. Joel Thomas, manager of transmission and distribution at NOASA, they must take the necessary steps to ensure consumers have an adequate supply of water.
We have a number of areas which we are addressing at present. We have our wells, which we have groundwater surface, groundwater water, and we have surface water. Our wells, which we hardly use, we only use them in critical situations. Most of our wells, we are putting them into operation now in preparatory mode in case the dry season gets worse. We already started, the effect starts already, especially in the eastern corridor. We have the Lisawokat and the two systems on that line that giving real trouble already. We have the Lisawokat system, we already depleted by 20%. You know, and in January. So if that continues by March, we'll be in a real hard dry season.
25 unemployed young people in Mount Horn, St. Andrew are being given an opportunity to create a better life for themselves through enrollment in the ACE project, which is part of the overall Aspire program. ACE, or Actively Committed and Empowered, targets young people under the age of 30 who will be involved in an 18-month training program. Minister for Social Development, Housing and Community Development, Honorable Delma Thomas, during the launch, provided a brief insight of the program's component.
ACE, which means Actively Committed and Empowered, is a youth community project in the village of Mount Horn. It is an integrated 18-month training program targeted 25 at-risk youths under the age of 30. The training will run for 10 months, beginning in February, and consists of life skills, literacy, numeracy, Tibet training, performing arts, and a community project. This project is an intervention which seeks to complement the government of Grenada's effort to establish and improve gender equality and comprehensive juvenile justice prevention and the response system, while enhancing the capacity for employable skills among at-risk youths. The project will provide services to enhance the residential aspect of the juvenile justice system, improve service coordination and delivery, enhance employable skills, and support community safety and security.
The project will be implemented by the Ministry of Youth, Sport, Culture and the Arts. Minister with responsibility for youth, Honorable Kate Lewis, spoke of her ministry's commitment in partnering with the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment on the initiative and expresses gratitude to the Caribbean Development Bank for funding the project.
I say a heartfelt thank you to the Caribbean Development Bank for supporting yet another important youth training and empowerment program in Grenada. The Ministry of Youth Development is happy to be collaborating with the Ministry of Social Development as we seek to ensure that our young persons are properly equipped to make valuable contributions to our nation's development.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
We are back with you to continue the work. We need you to improve all Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. On the road to national sustainable development. We're back.
So how can we invest more in the sporting arena to bridge that gap for a lot of young people?
I think there should be more forums like this.
We need to find a way in which to combat that now.
Join us for the next National Sustainable Development Plan 2035 Contributors Forum at the Happy Hill Secondary School, January 22nd, 7 p.m.
Welcome back. The honking of horns, waving of national flags, chanting of patriotic songs, and vehicles draped with the colors of the national flag on Saturday as the National Celebrations Committee hosted its annual Independence Motorcade. Hundreds of persons journeyed across the island to be part of the motorcade. Many said they are happy to be a part of the activity, celebrating yet another milestone in Grenada's history. They look forward to participating in the remaining activities on the calendar.
It's a joy to celebrate 45 years. From the start of everything, I'm there. Every year, I'm there. And I hope, all Grenadians could partake and make it wonderful. Because we all are Grenadian, we are a proud country and a proud people. And I want the world to see how good we are. You hear Buju coming here? Because Grenada is the place. So when you come here, Jamaican, St. Lucian, everybody coming in sweet Grenada.
I feel very good. I think it's important that you celebrate your independence, and I'm really happy you do.
Anyhow, Grenada have to celebrate. I'm celebrating with them. So I'm enjoying my birthday and the 45 years.
Great.
We go having drinks, fish. What I want to do though is the independence thing. We do some calado, oil long, put up by the shop, and show people the old time thing with the grater that we used to grate cassava with, and the matter where we used to pound. And don't mind me, I might be singing young, but I know all of that.
Public Relations Officer of the National Celebrations Committee, Wendy Edmond, says the committee is satisfied with the overwhelming support received from the public.
All right, folks, we're here today as we continue the activities for the hosting of the 2019 Independence Celebration. As you can see, we're on the carnage. We're about to exit as we go around the island, celebrating the colors, bringing that sort of awareness to persons throughout the community that Independence Celebration 2019 is here. We're celebrating 45 years, and as an independent nation, we should be proud to be celebrating such a milestone.
The next major activity is the Independence Calypso competition, which will be held at the Citez bus terminus on Saturday, January 26, 2019. And finally, the Ministry of Health continues to beef up its efforts to build more awareness on the mosquito-borne dengue fever, which is plaguing several neighboring islands. The ministry in January launched its public awareness campaign in response to a spike in cases in Jamaica and Trinidad, and the high number of cases recorded in Grenada in 2018. Vector Control Supervisor Justin Hector, during an interview on GIS's Spice Morning program, said although Grenada's cases for 2019 are not high risk, there is still no room for complacency.
We are not under a direct threat at the moment. We've had, during the course of the year, we did see a spike in the amount of cases, dengue cases, that we had in the year previous. As a result of that,
in 2018, you mean?
In 2018,
last year?
yes,
Okay.
there was a spike.
Okay.
We did see quite a few more cases than we had. Dengue being endemic means that we will always have a few cases on a yearly basis. within 10 to 15 cases is about average that we normally would have every year. But last year we had quite a bit more than that, which was a real concern. However, within the last 2 months or so, we've seen a drastic reduction. We haven't, we've had probably only about 2 cases between October and December, even now as I speak. Right. And that for us is tremendous.
Hector says St. George and St. David were surveyed as high-risk parishes in 2018. He said community visitations have heightened.
We go to those communities, go back to those communities, yeah, and do more public education, more treatment if necessary. And as I said, we would prefer, and we need the community to understand, that the control of mosquitoes is basically the responsibility of the householder and the community, each and every one of us as a whole.
The Ministry of Health says only 4 cases have been recorded, which is a slight reduction from the same period in 2018. That story just brought the curtains down on the National Report for today, Monday, January 21st, 2019. Let's recap the top story. Met official says Grenada could be in for a very intense dry season. On behalf of everyone who made this newscast possible, I am Lakeisha St. Louis saying thank you for viewing. Until next time.
Thank you very much, Rikisha. Thank you very much, Rikisha, and everyone else who was a part of the National Report. We want to say thank you for that. Let's see what it looks like for now. Without any particular detail, we could just share with you what tonight's minimum temperature is going to be like. It's going to feel somewhere within the vicinity of 24 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure if there are other people who can boast of these kind of temperatures. I know that the folks out there, yeah, I know, right? Some people in the US and other parts of the North are having a hard time right now. According to this, precipitation is, there's a 7% chance, humidity 84%, wind 24 kilometers per hour. All right. So that's it for the weather for tonight. And folks, we're wishing you the best for, what's left of the evening. Let's say hello to some people on the program. We have Trix, Rachel, Rose, Naomi, Samantha, Esther, Zaka, Kim, Rachel, Sheba, Trevelyn, Angel, Suzette, Zaka, Deslin, Abby, Ezran, Trix, Rhonda, Dora, Curtis, Angel, Shum, who else is Helen, and Peter, Rena, my mom, Linton, and my sister, Patsy. Who else is with us? Let's see who's there. And everybody else. I would like to say thank you for joining us on the live, and I do hope that you're going to be good. All right, folks, don't forget that many of the programs, many of the not programs, but many of the stories that you see here, you can find on the website as well. All right, guys. Yes, you can find some of these stories on the website. Peter Mitchell, big up on Melly and Rhonda and Kim. All right, Kim, I call your name. All right, I call your name, Kim. Kim, you hear me call your name? Good. All right, Shireen, Joan, and everyone else. Thank you for joining us. Rolanda as well. Big up your whole self, right? Eunice, we see that you're there as well. Clotilda, you're there with us as well. Big up to yourself as well. All right. Folks, the agricultural network is still there. For you to, whether you're a farmer, you are somebody in the agro-processing business or so, you can check out the agricultural network. All right, guys, it's a website that is there for the networking of farmers and so on. It's really good. People are trying it already. It's theagriculturalnetwork.com. You spell it all out. All right, theagriculturalnetwork.com. So after the program, you can check it out. All right, all the agro processors or laborers and so on. Yeah, man. If you want to network with others, you want to get some exposure of the products that you sell or what you manufacture and so on. It is intended to put all these things in one place. So whether you're a buyer or a seller, you all go to one place. It's called the agriculturalnetwork.com. And the next thing that we have to tell all you about, boy, the Mikey Live Helping Hands Foundation. All right, we're having an event in Canada Okay, so we want to, I'm just trying to get the details right. We want you to participate in this. Okay, it's somewhat to raise funds for the people who are in need. So you get anything like fried chicken, oil down, salt fish and provision, fish and chicken, and you know, I mean, you just name it, bakes, you know, fried jacks and ding, you know, oil down and ding. Yeah, so all you gotta check it out. All right, Jamaican Canadian assassin. Is it? For more information, you can send an email to helpinghands@mikeylive.com. All right. I will post the flyer on my page again so that you guys can get more information. All right. Yes. Yeah, I just got a little confused with that, the abbreviation in the bottom there. But folks, come and enjoy good food, drinks, and that dancing, and meet with the Mikey Live Helping Hands Foundation crew. All right. And make it good. DJ Andy is going to be there, and you can expect some other forms of entertainment. Now they're saying that the entry is absolutely free. All right, so all you take all the time and visit the business. All right, so it's a fundraiser, and we're encouraging you to come out. That's going to be happening on Saturday, February 9th, 2019. It's going to be going from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. all right, so it's a nice thing. All right, come with all the belly empty and come hungry. What else I miss out? All right, that's it, guys. Suzette, that's it. Good. All right, guys, so that's the end of the business for tonight. All right, God bless you. Have a good one. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we all say Ja no. Good night, everyone. God bless you and your family. We'll come back tomorrow, God's willing, for another program. Those of you on WPG10, good evening to you as well. Goodbye.